President Donald Trump signed a new memorandum reinstating strict U.S. policy toward Cuba, reversing several measures enacted under former President Joe Biden. The move renews a ban on U.S. tourism to the island nation and tightens restrictions on financial transactions with military-controlled Cuban entities, including the powerful conglomerate GAESA and its affiliates. The directive enforces the long-standing statutory ban on American tourism and introduces stronger compliance measures, including routine audits and mandatory record-keeping of all travel-related transactions for at least 5 years. While travel for humanitarian or educational purposes remains permitted, all other forms of leisure travel will continue to be prohibited under the new order. The policy also reinforces the U.S. economic embargo on Cuba, rejecting any calls at the United Nations or other international forums to lift it. The White House framed the move as an effort to support the Cuban people while denying resources to the ruling regime. Exceptions for transactions are allowed only when they align with specific U.S. policy objectives or benefit the Cuban population directly. Trump had already taken steps earlier this year to reintroduce tougher measures, including reinstating Cuba's designation as a state sponsor of terrorism and tightening immigration restrictions. Monday's announcement cements a broader rollback of Biden-era changes, many of which aim to normalize relations between the two nations. In response, Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez condemned the move, calling it an act of aggression that deepens the economic blockade and violates the human rights of the Cuban population. He labeled the decision a criminal act and said it remains the primary barrier to the country's development. The renewed restrictions reflect the Trump administration's commitment to isolating Cuba's government while asserting stronger oversight of U.S.-Cuba relations. The White House said it will continue to pursue policies that promote democratic values, human rights, and economic freedom for the Cuban people without empowering the nation's military institutions.